Computers. Sometimes they're just the bane of your existence. Especially when you get too wrapped up in a project involving them to the detriment of literally everything else.
The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Computers. Blah. Such a sort of thing you can have a love-hate relationship with. They can do all kinds of things for you, and they can be a total pain in the ass. They can be something that holds together your digital life, and it can be something that makes you feel like you're just coming apart at the seams when something isn't working. And in the case of what I've just gone through with this eMachine project, until finally putting a proper Delosaurus back in this spot over here, we're talking about a situation where something that was supposed to be Project EVTO went months past the end of the actual EVTO season. And it just tied up my involvement in videos on this channel for that long. In that time, there's been some things that have been going on. For example, I flipped my routers around because this old workhorse seems to be handling the not dropping connections better than its faster Asus brethren, which is now in the other room. Ugh, what? What's the noise outside, too? What time is it? It's like 1 in the morning. That is either a thunderstorm or somebody's motorcycle won't stay running. Maybe I picked the wrong time to make a video.
Epic fail.
It's been a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go with thunderstorm or rumble of thunder for that one. Definitely not a motorcycle. I also heard the train come through as well. Why the heck do train operators blow the horn that can be heard all the way across town in the middle of the night? I don't know. That's another question for another day here. So, weird weather and weird stuff happening in the middle of the night or not, it's time to move forward with things. So, while we've been doing all this computer tinkering, there's been stuff sitting new in the box, and there's been stuff that's not the way I want it. We're finally going to move forward with that, now that the eMachine experiment is over. More tech tinkering, yes, just not the computery stuff we've been doing for the past couple months worth of videos at this point, with how Project EVTO dragged out so long. So how about we play some catch-up on stuff that's not where it belongs, and stuff that's been sitting new in the box for way too long. So some of the lighting I've been using with Geekhouse Dark Mode lately has been rather experimental. Part of that is this brass knuckle light that is now charging back up. It also gets hot if I run it while I'm charging it, so I'm not going to run this for too long. Either way, get that off camera because mode number 3 is a strobe mode, so I don't want to flash lights with people being sensitive to that kind of stuff. Anyways, I don't think I should be trying to do all of this stuff off of a brass knuckle light with some tape over the LED so it's not as glary and harsh. It does have magnets though, so it can stick to stuff that's metal, like that. But I definitely want to do some more experiments with lights that can actually be installed somewhere, so I'm not having to lug that thing around literally everywhere I need some extra lighting, outside of the usual work light stuff. Oh look, another ring light! Can you guess where this came from? If you guessed the 9-to-5ers in their safety store because yet another person new to warehousing razor cut the darn thing, you would be right. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that people who aren't really good with restocking knives tend to ding, to put it nicely. But the thing is, I know how much these things cost, so I figure in terms of kit, as some folks call it, you really can't go wrong with having too many ring lights. So let's see what this one is like, and whether or not I want to pick up any more of these things for temporary or permanent setups in today's LED-driven world. Less than case, entry-level warehouse work. The clear plastic shipping tape tells the whole story. Newbie didn't angle the knife correctly and right along the side of the box. Oh, man. Anyways, we're actually going to cut the spot that you're actually supposed to cut when you get this thing to pop it open. Yeah. Another razor cut special. I'm sure the light is still fine, but do you really want to be trying to sell people stuff that looks like it's been slashed up and taped back together? Alright, let's see what this one's like. Why won't it open? Why won't it open? Oh, yeah. I'm so focused on where someone sliced this thing that I forgot. You gotta slice it in more than one place. There. This isn't easy to do with one hand. Alright. Nope, I can't. I totally can't see that. Totally can't see that when it's in the shadows like that. This darn safety knife. There we go, that should do it. Oh, yeah. Play around with a non-retracting knife like that. And I don't know. Can we stop being obsessed with box cutters? Okay, there's a tripod thingy. Usually the way these are packed, even if someone does biff it with the knife, they don't hit the product in the process. And this was no exception. Nice big ring light thingy for the smartphone. The top thing came off. Tzumi. Hey, look, directions. I might actually need those. And that's the box. Goodbye, box. Oh, I just threw it in the back of the chair. I'm getting a little rusty at this stuff in my old age.
Epic fail.
Pretty much what I've come to expect in a Tzumi light. Plasticky type stuff. Runs off of 5 volt, has one of these, so you can adjust brightness. I'm guessing the brightness and the color or something like that. And a tripod mount type thing as well. I wonder if I could use this as just a regular mount and put a camera on it. So, like, have it like, will this actually, hold on, will this bolt into? It will bolt into the bottom of the camera. So, I could hold on a second. Could theoretically, heck with the ring light, just use this trifold stand, goes right into the bottom of the camera, and just pop it open. Well, it's not really all that it's not all that great with the camera. I think the camera's too heavy for it. Hands free! Yeah. Unfortunately, no, it's too heavy. Never mind.
Epic fail.
Yeah, no, the plastic in this thing is cheap enough that you don't want to be adjusting it too much. Let's see what it looks like, though. Let's see here. Probably not going to show up right on the camera, but it looks like a makeup light. That's what these things used to be when they were incandescent. So, yeah, so we can adjust the brightness. We can change the color, too. Cold white versus warm white, I think. Cold white, warm white, and all white. So you can adjust the color temperature that way. And then turn it up. And we can... so it's adjustable. The big thing I want to know is, let's make it some weird color. Let's set it to warm white. Which one of these? Alright, that's warm white. Yellow, tungsten look. This is cold white. So, and then this is everything, which is brighter. I'm going to leave it on warm white here and pull the plug. I just want to see something about these. There's something I've observed with smart lights in particular. We can probably shut this off too and just bask in the solar eclipse looking halo of this thing. Now let's do this. Alright, so if we cut the power to this thing and then turn it back on, it does what? Does not turn back on automatically. That's why I can't voice control this thing. And it reset back to full light. Okay, so that's one of the biggest... Turn down the brightness on this too. That's one of the biggest problems that I've ever had with any of these lights, is I have to keep constantly turning them on and setting them back up. It just, we can't have that with these kinds of lights if I want to use them in like a streaming setup or something. So basically, and this is what I thought I'd be using this for, with this light, since it has to be set up every time, and I don't know if we really want to, adjust this too much like this, this would be better off lighting up the inside of a computer or something while I was working on something, but kind of like the sort of thing where I could have it plugged in and not have to worry about charging the brass knuckle light and stuff like that. So then we could just point it at the computer or bounce it off of something and have it illuminate everything and just adjust everything for whatever it is that we're doing. But it can't be something that's there all the time. I mean, this looks all right. It can't be something that's there all the time because we can't voice control it, much like we can with the smart lights and stuff like that. We have to keep setting it every single time, which pretty much means that this ring light could probably run off the battery packs too, since it runs off of 5 volts. But this ring light has to be the sort of thing we're constantly setting up. So I didn't even bother with the thing that the smartphone goes on for this, because I don't have any real use. Unless I actually need to put a smartphone on it, I have no reason to use that feature. As it stands, this is just a little work light, and we'll just move it around and set it up as needed. So again, I mean, I could just hang these up somewhere like this if I really wanted to. But because it doesn't save its settings, I can't voice control it. So it can't be any part of a permanent setup. Okay, as a reality check, let me just compare this to the other Tzumi lights that I've been playing with since I got these things. Okay, so this is the one that mounts, and let's see, turn down that intensity. That's not it. That's what? Oh, that's the plus button. Let's turn down the intensity on this one. It's making the dust appear on the lens. Take that down, and let's cycle it. There's warm, there's cold, there's everything. You can even see the LEDs through the thing there. Let's leave it on warm mode, because I never use it. And let's pull the plug, and plug it back in, and defaults to all. So no, the clip-on thing doesn't really work all that well either for that sort of thing, and it's basically showing all the dust that's on the lens. I guess I'd better wipe off this lens. Alright, this big one, aka the backpack size one that could travel with me somewhere, so we turn it on, and cold, warm, everything. Set it to warm. Let's see if it does it. I don't think any of these are compatible with a permanent setup because of that. We cut the power like we're using a smart light, and we turn it on, and what's the color? Everything. So that's the thing with these Tzumi lights, is that you have to set them up every single time, and basically you have to use the built-in remotes. You really can't control these with any kind of control system. So that's 3 of these. I don't know, how many of these do I really need, especially when I can't just leave. I mean, I have to use them for as-needed effects. I can't use them for anything permanent because they don't maintain their settings, so I can't use a voice controller or something like that in order to actually use them like that. It's just crazy. 3 of these and counting, and they're all niche, and they all have to be set up every single time. And something to think about when you see all these Tzumi lights on sale. You go to Walmart or something and you see live stream vlogging lights, and you see these things being sold for like $50 for the big ones, and you're just thinking, you know, you can't have a setup where you like tell your smart speaker or whatever, turn on the streaming lights like I know some streamers have, and just immediately change all the lighting so you can go live. Now you got to go to each one of these, grab that halfway down the cord remote, turn them on, set them up, blah blah blah. Or you have to have them plugged into USB all the time. But even if you do, so they don't lose their settings, let me just double check that. Sanity check on this one. Set it to warm. I would never use this. Off. So it'll save the settings if it stays plugged in all the time. But as a sanity check, you know, you still would have to go around and grab all these halfway down the cord remotes in order to turn everything back on. So can you imagine doing that for every single light, every single time? You could rig something up technically with some USB extension cables, so that way these things are always within easy reach. So you just go down the board, each one of these things, click, 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 turning them on and turning them all back on. It's just, no, it's just... It's practically become a fad to sell ring lights for everything under the sun these days, and brands like Tzumi are showing up in like Walmart and stuff like that. But as always, there's a difference between consumer grade and professional grade, even for stuff like this, and this is one of the silly little differences. The things that are on sale all over the place because of the pandemic. Gotta love it. Let's bust out the kilowatt and get some hard numbers on these things if I can find the right inline remote to use. Crank them up full blast. Oh, whoops. I did plug that one in instead of this one. Whatever. Alright. Brightness all the way up. Cold, warm, everything. What? I have the wrong thing. No, wrong. I had the wrong thing plugged in, which means there's another remote over here that is probably this one? Yeah, you really want to be doing this every time you go live? Okay, this one's lit. So this one will actually register a number. Yeah, I forgot I had the other one still plugged in. On. Brightness all the way up. Warm, cold, everything. Caps out at about 6 watts. Sometimes going up to 7 for whatever reason. Warm. Oh, okay. So soft white. Whoa. So soft white can take it up around 7. Cold, 7. Everything. Oh, okay. So what? 6.4? What? Hold on. So is one brighter than the other? Turn that up all the way. Turn this up all the way. Yeah, so 6 to 7 watts. About 6 to 7 watts on these things. Let's see which one this turns on now. Let's see what we got here. Now we got the one on the bottom. Now let's see. 5.6. Turn it up all the way. Alright. Cold, 5.6. Warm, about 5.8. Everything, kind of in the middle. So 5 watts. So the bigger one is actually less watts. Interesting. We're talking about little 5-watt lights here. Nothing too exciting. Now the last one, the one that's on here. Let's see if I get the right one here. So we could be talking like 15 watts if we had all of these. So there's this, and this one has the smallest array of LEDs. But wait a minute, it's hitting 7 watts. Warm mode is down to 4. Can we turn that up? Warm mode is down to 4. Cold mode is 4.3. And then it adds up. You can see through this thing that everything's lighting up at once with the differences in the colors. And that's when it hits 7. Well, that's wild. So you mean to tell me that out of these 3 ring lights, the biggest one is the one that is most power efficient? Well, maybe I should just do this. Crazy, man. It must come down to the brightness or something. This thing now has a big base on it, so I think it's a waste of time to... Yeah. Where to use these things? I don't know. I don't think any of them are really going to be good for streaming with in terms of lighting me up better than I currently am. I'm supposed to look like someone playing video games in the middle of the night, and I think I accomplished that. But I think I could be lit better than I currently am. The problem I have with ring lights is when you shine them directly at yourself, you see these big O's in your glasses, if you have any. The reflections on these, it's better to bounce them off of something. We'll play with that. Okay, this is a little redundant, but I have to use this floor mount ring light for something. The last thing we gotta take a look at is the Jufu lamp. Little disc lamp, $40 on Amazon, and I still can't find a use for it. The only one of these things that runs off of AC. Still trying to find a place to put this thing, and it has a remote control and everything. But it's not big enough to be used for stuff similar to the ring lights. I think I have some ideas though. Need to refresh my memory on how much power it draws. Alright, running off of its power supply here, this disc lamp has many of the same features as the Tzumi lights do. It's just a functional desk lamp and stuff. When it's all the way down in terms of brightness, it's 1 watt. And then there's this touch control thing on the side that I can use to adjust the brightness. So we crank it all the way up, it heads up towards 10 watts. I can adjust I think it's the thing on the bottom that lets me change whether it's cold, warm, or everything. I don't know what the blinking and turning off thing is. But it looks like it caps around 10 watts. So this one... Alright, let's set it on warm and let's pull... Oops. What is that blink? I can't find a way to turn this off without the remote. That's half the problem. But let's see here. So if we pull the plug on this thing... and then we plug it back in, which I can't see to plug it back in there. Put it on the main power strip. It saves what it was. So the $40 light might actually be my best ticket to, yeah, so I can voice control this thing. I just got to use the remote to set the brightness and the color temperature. So this one, despite costing like $40, and I thought it cost maybe a little too much, this one is the most adjustable, or the most useful, because I can put it on everything, and I can put it on voice controls using a smart plug. So I pull the plug on this, I plug it back in, it comes back on, and it's still in cold mode. Alright, let me set it over to warm mode. Oh wait, it was in everything mode before. Let me leave it in warm mode, because that's, with everything all yellow, that's the most obvious. So I tell the smart software to turn it off, cuts the power to it with a smart plug. We wait like 10 seconds or so, we turn it back on, and it comes back on in warm mode. At the same, so it saved its settings. Let's try cold. Is that warm? That's everything. This is cold mode. I see the blue tint on everything now. We use the system to turn it off. Then we go to stream again. We go to turn it back on, and comes back on. I think it's in everything mode. Is this everything mode, or is it cold mode? No, it came back on in everything mode. So if I can get it to look good in everything mode, it'll be fine. If I leave it in cold mode, though, it doesn't come back to cold mode. So you see this. I tell the system to turn it off. I wait a while, and I turn it back on. Well, at least it has a remote, so I can adjust it. So I think this might be a good thing to use for stream lighting behind the desk, where it can be permanently installed on a smart plug, and I just change the settings with the remote control, and I change the settings with the remote control, and then I just voice control the thing with a smart plug. That gives me my bearing on things. I have some ideas too for the other ring lights as well. So this one, because I can carry it around so easily, so because I can carry it around so easily, this would be a good work light. You know, hook it up to the 5 volt or something like that. And this thing, I can't really find anything good to do with it. But there have been times when I've had dark mode going and I wanted a quick light just for a second in order to read something. So I think what I'll do is I'll clamp this to my main desk, and I'll have, you know, a clamp light that I can use as a desk lamp, and I can just move it out of the way when I don't need it. And of course, if I want to put my phone somewhere and have it propped in front of me, it has this smartphone mount as well. So if I'm keeping track of notifications or something, just install some cable management among the telescoping stuff. All right, I think we got something we can do with all of these things then. These lights have been sitting around for way too long. The problem is other than a smart plug, I can't find a way to turn this thing off without the remote. And plus, because it's software controlled, I can turn it down all the way, but it won't turn off. Yeah, see? It's just changing color now. So, I think the best way to control this would be with a smart light. Not bad, though, that it saves its settings. That gives it perfect use as like a streaming light and stuff like that. I just don't want to shine it directly on me. I want it to reflect off of something, maybe the wall or something like that. And if you're wondering where some of the more dramatic shots of the computers have been coming from with Geekhouse Dark Mode, it's actually quite simple. I have a desk lamp in the shelves over here. I haven't been able to find anything to do with it. I just turn it on when I want things to get more dramatic. It's one of those LED desk lamps. You're like, oh look, $7 desk lamp at Walmart. Then you find out it's $7 because you're just buying an LED lamp with a gooseneck setup. But hey, you know, soft white has its uses if you want to make things look more dramatic when you have something like the blue going and things along those lines. Well then, I've buried myself in ring lights. I suppose now I should get off my ass and actually install them. What the... One of these is not like the other? Well, I thought I was going to be working on lights or something, but it's not going to be this one. Yeah, we need to take a look at this. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.